And that's the foam. They're from Finland, like that flag. And that one up there, but you're not seeing it because it's on my ceiling and I can't be fucked turning that camera around. So, I've been really getting into folk metal for a long time, and these bands have always been one of my favorite in the genre. They combined really good melodic death metal with epic power metal and good old fashioned folk metal to create a really, really amazing sound that's full, folky, melodic, but just has that touch of power in it and speed, and it all comes together and makes one hell of a great album and band in general. Um, so today we're gonna start with the gripe of this album, and to be honest, I can only really think of two. I really like this album. It's one of the best I've heard of, and we're gonna talk about the gripes first of it because there's far less of them. The two biggest gripes of this are one, it's the same as everything else they've done. All their albums seem to follow the same pattern, the same sound, and the same thing through the entire thing. I mean, it's nice to have bands that are really consistent with their stuff, but they also do some experimentation with the stuff as well. But ensiferum are a band that basically sound like they're too happy staying in the shell and don't really want to leave it, which is all right. But when you hope for a new album, you hope to hear newish things that they've done and not really the same thing over and over and over again. So that's my opinion on it. My second biggest gripe on this album is that basically it has a lot of slow folky songs on it. Now I really like folk music, that's how I got into folk metal, but hearing these songs on a metal album, it doesn't really work because these stuff play really fast, lots of energy, lots of power, and then they just come and slow it down and go and just like skip, and doesn't really work well. So after my little rant's over, we're gonna start getting into the album itself. Now, the thing starts with the intro, track one, and it's really good, but it sounds like Victory Song, which is another album and song that they did. But the song itself has a really long, acoustic, nice, folky, epic intro, and a lot of the stuff sounds like that, and I'm just like, eh, alright. But it was still really good, and then they came on with track two, which was pretty epic. Um, it just comes back, gives you all the stuff that you want to hear, cuts the crap, no long folk intros, just hear straight into it. Very powerful, a lot of melodic death, good folk influences. Same with the third track. Comes in, folk, MDM, law track, good album. And it keeps doing that for the fourth song as well. But it's a slightly bit slower, but still does a lot of the folk influence. Then comes on to track 5, when it slows down and one of those really annoying things on it. It was like what I said at the Swinging Utters, the placement of this wasn't so good. It's come after about 3 hard-hitting, blasting folk songs, great producing on them, really good, powerful, lovely folk. Now it's come on to a real folk song, and it's just like, what are you doing there? It just doesn't really work. And plus, the vocals on the track are very annoying. I don't know why. I just, when I have these certain type of female folk vocals, no matter, I just bugs me to hell. I, whenever I hear them on anything, these certain type of vocals, I'm like, oh god. And it's really annoying. There's some bands I really like, but when they keep doing stuff like this, I'm like, oh my god. They're one of the biggest types of vocals that annoy me. So then, on the track 6, which is the single from this album, and it just, again, delivers everything you really want. I'm not really sure how else to explain the stuff. Once you've heard one song, basically all still follow the same pattern. They're gonna give you the good MDM vocals, then they're gonna give you mid-range growls, and really good folk influences, really tight, basically metal, and great power metal riffs, solos, and stuff like that. But then, this is where it gets interesting. I, then we go on to track 7, which I swear to God, it sounds like a Winter Sun song. I mean, not the newer stuff, but if you listen to the previews of the new album, Time 1, which I can't wait to come out, it sounds a lot like that. It's very heavy, folky, great mid-range grounds, and symphonic. Now, this threw me off the first time because I've always thought that folk music and symphonic metal wouldn't mix very well. It'd be like combining doom metal, speed metal, or power metal. It doesn't really work. Like, if you give me like a funeral doom power band, I'm gonna go laugh at you. No offense, but I just don't think it can be done very well. So, I thought it was like a contradiction like that. But it seems to work amazing, and I've been hearing a lot of it lately. So I'm just proving myself wrong on that one. And I'm like, wow, this is quite nice. I need to find some more stuff. So, then it's like Winter Sun, has really nice things on it. Then goes to like the nice symphonic stuff, some operatic vocals, and then it goes like that as well. Then we go to track number 8, which again, I swear, it sounds like a Winter Sun song. You can go listen to the new like preview from the album. It will sound like this. It just, and it works really well. It so combines the two things. There's not really much difference on them. Again, as I said, the problem with the band is that once you've heard one song, you can basically some of the most of the songs are like that. It's like, okay, you've heard the people who have heard, band Broken Bells. Well, their debut album and stuff like that, it's kind of like that. It just goes through the album, but the songs just change just enough so you can notice a slight difference in them. I'm not comparing this band to Broken Bells. These are a lot better than them, but the song structure is kind of like there's just enough variation to show the difference. Then on number 9, we go back to one of the slow, folky stuff on it. Then comes number 10. Oh my god. This is one of the best tracks I have heard in an extremely long time, maybe all year. And if you go back and look at their stuff, their songs progressively get longer. Their longest song on their first album was about 7 minutes. This one's 17 minutes long. And it will blow your mind. I mean, they crammed everything they had in this entire album. Everything that they've done in the past, everything that they're doing on this album. All the stuff like the symphonic, folkness, the longness, the epicness, the solos, the folk instruments, you name it. This has it all. It starts off doing like what they do with all their big epics. It starts off, has a nice wee intro to it. It does does the folk, has a nice acoustic guitar going in it. Then comes to a really nice melodic death metal guitar. Then it has like little nice bells in the back, and then it hits you hard. It just plays like that for a while, then goes to a really cool power metal bit, epic solos, and stuff like that. Then starts to change a bit into more of the symphonic, but keeping that melodic death metal, keeping that folk in there, and it comes back as the operatic vocals, puts some violins and stuff like that in there, does a lot of the good stuff. Then it just comes out for a while, then comes back to the melodic death, plays melodic death for a while, does the good vocals, has the folk in there, then hits you with an amazing power metal solo. First on the pipes and stuff like that, does get some really nice synths and pipes on here. It just does an amazing synth pipe solo, goes incredibly high, does explores it, really is exploring what their synth can do. Just exploring it, then goes to a great power metal guitar riff. Has all these great effects going on it. Sounds really full. The bass has an amazing groove on it. Then goes back to the symphonic elements on it. Sounds amazing. Keeps them locked death. Throws the symphonic stuff over it, and then But then they go back to the melodic death bits. Put some talking over it. Now my finish is quite rusty and a bit bad, but I think they'll sound a bit like maybe Odin talking or something like that. I'm not quite sure. I think it was in Finnish, or else I really wasn't paying too much attention to what the lyrics were saying, because I was too busy enjoying this masterpiece of music. So then it starts fading out, and we come to like an old market type sound. It sounded like something you would get in an old medieval market. Has people talking, chickens in the background, then builds up, does its melodic thing, then throws everything at you. You have your folk mixed with your symphonic, your groove and bass, with a really awesome double kick drums, blast beats, double bass drumming, all that stuff. That then has some nice mid-range growls, those great operas on top of it, and then it goes down to while the opera is still singing, it comes to like a Viking chant sort of thing, and wow, it blew my mind. Now, if somebody asks me why I've gotten so much detail on that one song and not on the other, I'm going to give you two reasons for one. One, the other tracks are about 5 minutes long at most. This is 17 minutes long. This was the best track in the album. And for third reason I'm throwing in there right now, I've explained best I can for all the other stuff. As I've said, the band's biggest downfall on this was that once you've heard one track, you've heard them all. But this broke a lot away from it. It was just amazing. So then, we come to our final track on the album, track 11. And it comes and does basically I think it was a cover, I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. And it does the great melodic death, some great pounding death metal in it. Still has the melodic, does the great low death growl, and just plays like how it does, but it sounds a bit more Latin. They have some great trumpet in it, and it sounds really well. So, the biggest problems of the album. A lot of the tracks sound the same, just enough variation to know the difference between them. And it feels like they put all their energy into one. Stuck out really well, and was just a joy to listen to. It has some great new ideas in it, and I hope they do it soon. And overall, I'm going to give this album a 7.5. I'm giving that because I really think that the band needs to change their stuff. After about 5 albums of the same things, it was just getting a bit repetitive. Now, it sounds like they have some good ideas in it. I would like to see them expand on this more. But the chances of them watching this video and going, you know, that kid's right. Yeah, we've done too many things for too long. We need to change more. We need to do that more symphonic, folky sound with it, and do some more epic things with it. I wish that would happen. It's not. So that's a shame. This has been Mason Carmen from